Assalamu alaikum students, this is your teacher Azka and I teach business and accounting to O and A level students. So this in this video we are going to talk about the IGCSE business paper 2 variant 1 paper 1 variant 1, yeah. And here we are going to see the questions directly, and you can download the paper from the of course from Google. So in question number 1, students, they are asking about define the term business partnership, and simply we need to define it. So a business partnership is a legal form of business ownership where two or more people, usually between 2 and 20, agree to own and run a business together, sharing capital, responsibility, risk, and the profits. B part is that identify two ways a government can support business startups. So you just need to identify. So they could offer the grants, and they could provide the low interest loans, or acting as a grantor for the loans. So alternative answer which we can write, that is providing free business advice, monitoring tax breaks, tax holidays, subsidize the training, etc. So these are the alternative options, like the answers you can write. Then one C is that outline two ways an economic boom might affect Brendan's business. So the first way is that there will be increased consumer disposable income during a boom. Income generally rise. Customers may have more money to spend on the luxury items like flowers, leading to increased sales revenue for the Brendan. Way two, that it can increase the cost of production because demand for labor and resources increases in the economy, and the Brendan might have to pay higher wages to attract staff, or pay higher prices for flour supplies from wholesalers, increasing his variable cost. And D part is explained two ways Brendan could increase added value for his business. So way one is that he can create a strong brand image or unique selling point, means USP. So by branding the flower shop as high quality or offering unique arrangements not found elsewhere, Brendan can differentiate his product from competitors, and this allows him to charge a higher price relative to the input cost of the flowers. Secondly, he can improve packaging and presentation. So instead of selling loose flowers, Brendan can arrange them in a high quality bouquet with ribbons and premium wrapping. This transforms the raw material into a gift product, significantly increase the price customers are willing to pay and compare to the cost of the individual stem. E part is explain the two pricing methods a new business might use, which is likely to be the best method to use. Justify your answer. First method, I am going to talk about the cost plus pricing. This involves calculating the total cost of producing the product and adding a fixed percentage markup for profit. This ensures that each sale covers cost and contributes to the profit. Whereas in the penetration pricing, this involves setting a price lower than competitors to enter the market and gain market share quickly. Once a customer base is established, so prices are slowly raised. So in recommendation, penetration pricing is likely the best method for the Brendan. Justification, as a new startup, Brendan has no existing customer. Lower prices will encourage customers to try this shop instead of established competitors. So while cost plus guarantee a profit margin, but it might result in prices that are too high for new unknown business, leading to a low sales volume. Question number 2. Identify one way of each of the following changes in country X exchange rate might affect the business which import the raw material. So first change is depreciation. We just need to identify it, don't explain it. And the second one is appreciation, means imports become cheaper, and in the depreciation imports become more expensive. Then identify two reasons why consumer spending patterns might change. So first reason is that there is a change in consumer taste, fashion, or trends. So it will be shift towards the healthier foods. Number two is changes in the real income or disposable income level. So it means that it will be reducing the purchasing power. Outline the two reasons why maintaining quality is important for the NSL. So, to maintain the brand reputation and safety, since NSL manufacture food, bread, and cereals, poor quality could lead to health issues for customers, legal action, and a damaged reputation that destroys trust in the brand. Number two is that to ensure the customer loyalty in the competitive food market, if bread or cereals are consistently fresh and tasty, so customers are more likely to make repeat purchases rather than switching to the competitor. Explain two benefits to NSL of using the lean production. So first benefit will be that there will be reduction in waste. So lean production focuses on eliminating waste such as defective product or time. So for a food manufacturer like NSL, this reduces the amount of spoiled ingredients, bread and cereals, lowering unit cost and increasing the efficiency. Number two is that lower storage cost if we will use just-in-time inventory. So lean methods often involve holding less inventory. So an NSL can order raw materials only when needed for production. This reduces the cost of warehousing and risk of raw materials, ingredients like flour going out of date before being used. E-part is explained two methods of the market research a business could use to help make business decisions, which is likely to be the best method for a manufacturing business to use. So first of all, the first is primary. This involves collecting first-hand data directly from potential customers regarding their specific needs, tastes, and preferences regarding the food products. Secondly, we can use the secondary research. So this involves analyzing data that already exists, such as overall trends in the breakfast cereals, the consumption, or competitor sales. So we are going to recommend a primary research method, and we have justified this as well. So while secondary research is cheaper, it is often too general for a manufacturer like NSL and understanding specific consumer reactions to the taste and quality of their bread and cereal is critical. So only primary research like taste test can provide a specific qualitative feedback needed to ensure the product meets customer expectation before mass production. Question number three that define dismissal. So dismissal is when an employer ends an customer's contract of employment due to the employee's behavior or misconduct or inability to perform the job to the required standard. Calculate the value of x and y. So to find the x cash outflow in the July, we use the formula net cash flow is equal to cash inflow minus cash outflow. So this will become 520. To find y closing balance in the September, we will use a formula closing balance is equal to opening balance plus net cash flow. So 180 plus 40 is equal to 40. Minus 180 plus 40 is equal to 140 is equal to 40. Then 3C identify four reasons that why a cash flow forecast might be useful to a business. Reason 1 to identify the potential cash shortages, liquidity crisis in advance so they can be managed. Number 2 to support applications for bank loans. So bank require forecast to assess repayment ability. Number 3 is to plan for large cash outflows, for example, purchasing new mining equipment. Number 4 is to decide if the business can afford to hire new staff like the new supervisor. 3D explain two advantages of LFK training its employees. So first of all, there will be increased productivity and efficiency. So trained trainers are likely to be work faster and use equipment more effectively. So this will lower the cost per unit of coal extracted and increase total output. Advantage too that there will be improved safety. Coal mining is the dangerous training for employees in safety procedures reduces the risk of accidents and injuries, which protects the workforce and prevents costly legal issue or work stoppages. Third E is that do you think the advantages of the external equipment for a business are greater than the disadvantages? Justify your answer. So advantages are that external equipment brings new blood and fresh ideas into the business, so it provides a wider pool of applicants with specific skills that may not exist internally. And however, it is more expensive. The process takes longer. The new employees requires induction training and time to adopt to the culture. So the new employee is an unknown quantity compared to the internal staff. So the advantages are generally greater for a specialized role like a supervisor if the current staff lack the leadership skills. However, if cost and speed are the priority, so external equipment is worse. Overall, external is better when a business needs to change its culture or lack specific internal talent despite the higher cost. Question for A part that we need to identify two methods of external growth of business might use. So we can use merger and takeover. Identify two reasons for the globalization. So first of all, there is a reduction in trade barriers. Number two, improvements in transport and communication technology. Fourth, we outline two ways PKN could contribute to sustainable development. First, they can use renewable energy sources. PKN uses factories to manufacture glass. They could be switched to solar or wind power for their furnaces to reduce carbon. Number two, recycling materials. So PKN could use recycled glass as a raw material rather than extracting the new raw materials, and this conserves natural resources and reduces waste sent to the landfills. Question 4 explain to diseconomy to scale which might affect the PKN as it grows. So first is that communication problems. So as PKN grows into a multinational with 27,000 employees in 30 countries, so the chain of command becomes longer. So messages from the managing director may be distorted or delayed before reaching his factory floor workers, leading to errors. Diseconomy too will be coordination issues, poor management control. So managing operations across different time zones and cultures is difficult. So it becomes harder for senior managers to supervise all factories effectively, leading to a lack of coordination between departments and potential wastages of the resources. E part. Do you think that the advantages of using retained profits to fund business expansion are greater than the disadvantages? So, advantage of the retained profit: no interest to pay, no loss of ownership or control. Funds are immediately available. Disadvantage is that the amount available may be too small for major expansion. So, shareholders may be unhappy as they receive lower dividends once spent. The cash buffer is gone. So, in justification, the advantages are usually greater. Using retained profit is the safest form of finance because it does not increase the business debts or risk external takeover. However, for a massive expansion like PKN's global growth, retained profit alone might not be sufficient. So, it is necessitating a mix of finance, but as a primary source, it is free nature. No interest make it superior to debt. So yeah, so we just completed the paper one, variant one.